My new thing, fits in a clock, breaks in a car, pulls on my brain. Are you ready to see? This is my new thing. Are you ready to see? This thing is my new thing. Shyness will show, excitement will glow. I'm sharing this thing. That thing is my new thing.
Good evening. It's your old pal, comedian Dan Wilbur.
And I'm Zach Sims, and I too am amazed we're sticking with this intro. And you're listening to My New Thing, a podcast about hobbies, interests, and dirty, dirty secrets.
Today we had Kath Barbadoro, excellent podcaster and comedian, and we talked about getting buff, baby.
Absolutely. It was a great listen, and you can tell that we haven't actually recorded it because we never talk like this in the intro. Which is a great
Don't tell them what's actually going on.
Well, we never even say who the guest is normally.
Establishing guests.
It was like you were so heavily trying to be like, we had a great episode. It was very good, and we enjoyed it. That's actually good. That's a testament to why you would never cheat on your wife, because you're not good at hide. You wouldn't be able to hide it. But I just got back from the market. Don't smell my fingers.
Jesus. Yo, if I cheat, there's going to be no fingering. It's going to be only my pleasure.
Why do we have guests? Why do we ruin this beautiful chemistry with a guest? Dan, what are you obsessed with this week?
Fingering ladies.
Obama.
Close. Because we always talk about movies that are smart and not sexist. And then I come in here and I say a bunch of sexist stuff. Wow, is this guy's scary. I don't like his politics. Is what people think. And that's only going to get worse because what I have been obsessing over are the 007 movies. I'm talking about James Bond because you know what? Too many smart movies. Now the sun's out, just baking in the heat, just letting it hit me, letting myself sweat away the booze I'm not drinking. And
sun's out, guns out.
Sun's out, guns
literally.
out. And the gun is a Beretta that's too small to actually kill a person. That's a problem in the movie, which I found out. I thought, I was telling you the other day, that Bond uses this little wuss Beretta that they tell him he can't use anymore because he's going to get killed out there in the field and he needs to have a PPK. It's like a bigger gun.
Yeah.
And then I watched a special feature where they just have this weird man. He's bald, and he's like, I was friends with Ian Fleming, and he didn't know about guns. So the reason this scene is in the movie is because I told him a Beretta is a lady's gun. Like, it's just this beautiful. And then he just shoots a bunch of cans, and he goes, let me show you what happens when you shoot I got to do the voice again. Well, let me show you what happens when you shoot a tomato can with a Beretta, and it's like, beep. It's like a little BB. And then he goes, and let me show you my favorite gun, a Magnum 44, like the taxi driver gun.
Sure.
And he just blows the thing away. And I'm like, wow. Remember when it was fun to be a gun nut?
Absolutely.
And you could become a movie consultant because it was strange that you knew so much. And now, when you live in America, everybody's got a gun.
You just go to Walmart, and there's 12 gun consultants right there.
So all of that is to say that I know this is bad for me. Because the 60s, we hadn't figured out if women were people yet.
Sure.
And that's sort of how the movie reads a little bit. But it is sexy. They are fun. And I got them because it was cheaper to buy every DVD than it was to buy like just the Pierce Brosnan virtual ones, digital ones. That I was like, this is a steal. I'll try it. And now that I've committed, I'm 3 movies in. I'm up to Goldfinger. And I've seen Goldfinger before, and I'm not enjoying myself. So this is an anti-rec that I'm going back to Criterion as soon as I can.
Did you purchase
some really good movies?
You have all the James Bonds on DVD
Every
now?
Single one, because I started on the treadmill, as we talked a couple weeks ago. I was looking for movies to watch on the treadmill. One of the best ones I found was GoldenEye, Pierce Brosnan's first. It is incredible. It's about, like, should the Cold War have happened?
Yeah.
Or did we make a big mistake? Is the CIA not something that should exist? Should we have M16? No. We should just leave people alone. James Bond should die. And then instead he like saves the day and you're like, all right, well, okay. Fun. It's a fun movie. It was fun to watch on the treadmill. I was like, I bet if I go back, I'll see something. Because I've seen Dr. No before.
Sure.
And the only thing I got from it is that my favorite episode of The Twilight Zone, which is called One Last Pallbearer,
okay,
which is about a billionaire who takes his enemies down into like a vault in his basement of a skyscraper and fakes that the atom bomb has gone off like in New York City. And he's like, it's coming. Look at this. This is about to explode. Like, I'll show you a video of what's about to happen. But this is the outside and you can hear the alarms going off. You have 2 minutes to say you're sorry to me. And all of them choose to go home. And he fails. It's really beautiful. Didn't mean to spoil this 60s classic.
That's a great... He just did it for spite. And they were like, no,
and
fuck
it didn't
off.
work.
Yeah.
And then there is still like a little scary punchline to it. And the guy who plays the spiteful billionaire, the Donald Trump type, is Dr. No.
Oh!
And Dr. No, and he gives nothing in Dr. No. He doesn't perform at all. He's like, I'm going to do it monotone. These people don't believe that I should sound like a Shakespearean actor, even though I'm trained. I won't do any of that stuff I did for Rod Serling because this movie is bullshit. And then he does like absolutely nothing. And I'm not bored. I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
And I like a spicy line or two. And I like a dumb piece of entertainment. And there is some good 60s flair. Some of it's like video art. It's beautiful. But I can tell while I'm watching it that I am bored. I'm forcing it. So listen, stick to the Pierce Brosnan, stick to Casino Royale.
Sure.
The more recent ones, those are a lot of fun. And you can't go backwards. You can't go home, as they say.
I remember, well, first of all, I like the idea that getting all those DVDs, you're not so much as doomsday prepping as you're divorce prepping.
That's right.
But I remember in GoldenEye, and I can't remember the name of the actress, very talented, who's kind of the heavy. And her thing is that she kills people by squeezing them with her thighs.
Maybe the sexiest thing that's ever happened.
And I remember describing the scene because I'd seen as a child to some of my friends in school, elementary school, and Ryan Wee said, and he always wore rec specs. Just a fun fact about Ryan Wee.
Nice.
He said, it sounds like they're humping. And I had no idea what that meant. That was just a fun little moment. My obsession is an obsession with other people's obsession, and it's Sasquatch / Bigfoot hunters. And
Nice.
the idea of people dedicating themselves to finding the Bigfoot, because I always feel like, what is the end game? You finally find Bigfoot and you get to meet your ultimate goal of being murdered by Bigfoot. Like, he's not going to be happy that you found him. I don't get what you're trying to seek there.
He's going to love it. Well, you also, if you
He clearly has been not wanting to be found.
right. And if you don't get killed, you're going to have to kill Bigfoot.
Sure.
And you'll be celebrated as the guy who found Bigfoot, but you'll also be vilified as the guy who murdered Bigfoot, much like President Obama was when he killed Osama bin Laden.
Absolutely. You think PETA's going to be happy with Bigfoot going down? No way.
We only had one
There'll be
endangered species.
I remember there used to be a PETA billboard in LA that said it was like a picture of a dog, and it said like, you wouldn't eat your dog for Thanksgiving. So why would you eat a turkey? And it's like, well, sure, but we don't.
Don't assume what my life is like.
Well, that's true too.
That's
Yeah.
what I say to PETA.
But you don't go take a turkey for a walk or give a turkey a name or get
They're out there pardoning them.
That's true.
They
They're
need to have a
pardoning
name. You
them.
got to have something to write down on that form.
Of course.
So I love that. And I feel that I have sent you in the past. You've told me that you are a little obsessed with Bigfoot hunters.
Yeah.
Speaking of divorce guys.
Sure.
You got to be a divorce guy
Yes.
to be into that.
Yes.
You have to have gone through something to then need Bigfoot
Well,
in your life.
I do think the ultimate goal is you find Bigfoot and then that magically gets your parents back together.
Yes.
And I think that's mostly what they're hoping is going to happen.
So outside of Chautauqua, where I got married and where Salman Rushdie got stabbed, look it up.
Two great events.
There was a guy who has a Bigfoot hunter tour sort of outside, and he has a big wooden Bigfoot that moves from place to place in this rural community. So he sort of pops up like Waldo, and you're like, oh, I spotted him, which is a great advertising campaign. Except on the side of his truck, it says, I've seen Bigfoot. Call me.
Which is also probably the main goal of Bigfoot hunters.
Please call me.
Someone just to have fucking something to talk about. Jesus. Because other than that, they're just like, oh, these are good undergarments to wear in the woods. They're not bringing a lot. But you know who's bringing a lot to the table?
Who's that?
Kath Barbadoro.
That's right.
And you'll hear her right now.
What I was thinking is that I think there's multiple stories that I know that you maybe even forgot that you've told like on your podcast. Because that's what a big fan I am of.
Aw, shucks.
And I don't get mad when there's a repeated story.
I'm glad.
I know
you
that
can't.
the haters are on there.
You can't listen to our podcast and get mad about repeated stories. You'd have to stop listening. We've been doing it for 7 years. Only a limited amount of stuff has happened to us.
Yeah.
We're kind of out of stuff.
I've repeated stories on this podcast, and we've done like 4
Done
of them.
it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much you got to say, really?
Not
That's
much.
what you learn doing a podcast for a really long time is like, I think I've touched on all of it.
Well, there's an aspect to this show is at least my desperate need to find some sort of hobby. So I feel like I'm kind of hoping to glean from the guests something to do.
You're gonna get some. You're gonna pick one of these.
Yes, with the
that would be
hours.
like a great bonus episode.
Sure.
It's like you try a hobby. Do you may have already discussed this on other episodes, but do you feel you have any hobbies?
No, mostly just staring at a wall and wondering where it all went wrong. Which I don't know if that's so much a hobby.
Ruminating is a
sure,
hobby. All right.
absolutely. I got into baseball cards for about a week and a half, and I like going to the movies.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Which is what a sad person says, I think.
I love to sit in the darkness. I would sit in the darkness and just eat candy in air conditioning and watch trailers. I've learned this about myself, that I would just get...
Just the trailers
I
are
would
okay
pay
for
to
you.
just sit there and no one is allowed to bother me.
I find movie trailers very emotionally overwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see.
Like they're
No, yeah.
Well, maybe that's what I need.
There's something about that, I guess, because they are trying to like activate you in this way. But like I find myself like choking up at trailers a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Like even when nothing sad is happening, just because it's like so much.
Well, I
it's-
do that with commercials. I'm
Yeah,
into
you're crying at
Sky Rizzy.
commercials?
Well, all of them are like pop hits now.
Yeah.
Sky Rizzy and the Daisy Cottage Cheese ad is really hitting. Just like only Daisy Cottage Cheese will do, and I'll just like hum it to myself, and I'm like, they got me.
Yeah, they
got
did
me.
get you.
And it's just because I'm old and I don't listen to enough good music. So that's what happens.
You just learn about them from pharmaceutical ads.
That's right.
There's a commercial now, not to derail, but that I find so upsetting.
We're
and it
derailed.
is for Google AI. And for my for what I make money to live, I write basically pitches for commercial directors, yada yada. So I did write a pitch for this very commercial, and it is for Google AI. And the whole premise is it's that you've had Google your whole life, and it's like you're Googling. And he Googles like music and he discovers James Blunt. That's in the beginning of this commercial.
Okay.
More things happen. Now he's an adult and he's like asking Google AI, what's something I can do tonight that won't cost that much and will get me home early enough? And they go, oh, there's a James Blunt concert playing. He goes to the concert. He locks eyes of a woman. We imagine they fall deeply in love because they both
Thanks
like
to
James
Google
Blunt.
AI.
Thanks to Google
And
AI.
because of You're Beautiful.
At the end of the commercial, at the beginning, they play You're Beautiful. At the end of the commercial, they play She's So High.
Oh,
Which is not a James Blunt
Not
song.
a James Blunt song.
No. Oh,
It's
that's annoying.
Lad Bachman or whatever his name is, something like that.
That sucks.
Yeah, isn't it suck?
That's
It's like,
so frustrating.
It's why AI is bad.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
among other things.
It
Yeah.
undermines the whole product.
Absolutely.
Well, I like the idea of you referring to your salaried position as a side hustle.
yeah.
That is comedy 101. This doesn't matter. This thing
No.
that gives me health insurance.
What I really care
put me
about
on the
is
street
those
if I lose it.
8 minutes
Yeah,
in Long Island in front of 12 people.
Hey, that show is good.
that's my real job.
Anyway, the thing I wanted to tell you was that I remember this story of somebody not even trying to get your name right. And it was like some comedian just sees your name and then you realize like maybe you just like can't read. And he said like Kath Baba Zababa. And then just said a different name.
This is a classic podcast thing. I do not remember that story.
That's
I also
right.
do not remember that happening.
Well,
but
maybe I made it up. Maybe
no, I
dreamt
believe it. I mean, because the thing I always tell people who are introducing me, because they like very frequently, if I don't know them, they will ask me how to pronounce my name, and I tell them, and then I always say, and I don't care if you get it wrong,
Right.
Because like no one's gonna remember it,
Right.
like
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
not,
It's also
either
like
they
a-
already know who I am, very slim chance, or
Right.
they will never remember it in their lives. So like, who gives a shit?
It's also like a year one comedy thing that if you get on stage and you go, actually, it's Wilbur.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the audience is like, who cares?
I don't care.
like
Say
you.
something funny.
I already don't like you. You
Yeah.
son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You're correcting that guy? We liked him.
He
he
did
gave
well.
us a free drink.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
I
Yeah.
actually had that like a few months ago where I was doing a show and it was one of these where the comic is everybody's just bringing each other up. So there's no host.
Yeah.
And the comic before me just completely blanked on my name and who and then just looked at me and said, "Are you Rocco?"
That's an
Which
insane
it
pull.
is. It is. And I was just like, "No."
It's one thing to be like, "Are you Mike?"
Yeah,
but
right.
like Rocco is crazy.
I wish I was Rocco.
Right, I am tonight.
Yeah,
I am
and
now.
I wish I should have just gone with it, but I was
Yeah.
so stunned. That I couldn't handle it.
Just close the show. Just say goodnight, everybody. We'll figure it out.
I remember one time I was emceeing at a comedy club and I blanked on the headliner's name, and that was really embarrassing. It was Jen Kober, I remember, and I like got halfway. I was like, Jen Kober, and
Yeah.
she made fun of me relentlessly, as
Sure.
she should have.
Yeah.
I was the host. It was my job to know who I,
I had
was
to
hosting
write my
for.
name down and slip it to the host on stage because I could just see her sweating. And
Oh,
it was
yeah?
real smooth. I was like, I just walked
Nice.
over because
Nice.
it was an audition. I needed them to know
Oh,
my
yeah.
To know who you
name.
were. Yeah.
Uh,
That's rough.
so
But yeah, it is rude when people don't even ask and they just guess.
You
if
gotta
it's
ask.
if it's a show that like I'm booked on, like come on. But yeah.
I like to. So I work in a bookstore. I have to memorize people's last names because that's how we do the, the buyers club. And there are so many people who have come in, told me about their marriages and the problems they're having with their kids, and like have emotionally opened up about how all fours changed them sexually. And then I will just be like, and your last
Yeah,
name? And
yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, it's Smith. And I'm like, oh my God. No, I thought the spelling was
That is such
weird.
a gamble.
I know, I
Yeah.
just had
Well,
no
how do you
idea.
spell your last name? And they're like,
And your
yeah.
first name? Like when you have to get there too.
I do even now when I do open mics and they have the little ticket you write your name on.
Yeah.
I put how to pronounce my last name.
That's great.
Not because I care about them getting it right, but because I know otherwise they're going to panic.
Right.
So like at least it gives them something to go on, so they're not like Cat. And usually they appreciate it. Sometimes they make fun of me, but I feel like it's in the service of greater good.
It's a pro move. It's a pro move.
Thank you.
Without a doubt.
Thank you.
Speaking of pro moves, when you were a kid, what were you good at?
That's a good
Yeah, what were you
question.
good at?
What
That's
was
how
I-
I want to phrase this question this time.
What was I good at as a kid?
You're good at everything now.
I'm so good at everything.
Polymath.
I was very good at, I feel like a lot of stand-up comedians, I was very good at speaking my mind when I was a kid. I was very
sure.
I wasn't shy. And yeah, I think that was the thing I was best at. And also like a lot of other comedians, I was a good writer, like at a young
right.
age. Like I remember in 4th grade, my teacher being like, this is really, really good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, I think that was it. And I played sports and stuff and I was like, okay. I was always like JV varsity cusp. You know what I mean? I would be like
Oh,
the
yeah.
worst person on varsity or the best person in JV. Like
Hell
I was
yeah.
kind of that realm. So yeah.
That's kind of where I am in my comedy career.
Yeah,
I feel similarly. Yeah.
Of course.
Now,
No, I was too fat to run the ball as a youth because not too fat, just too heavy. I was tall.
Sure.
Yeah.
Listen, I
Big.
don't need to get into my body
Big
image
boy.
as a
You had a
child.
great body.
I had a great body. You know I had a great body. I've shown you the pictures. I was just like taller than everybody else, and they had a rule, which we should, by the way, would have so many fewer problems if we just like, here are the rules. Here's just a bunch of rules, and then we don't have to talk about, what gender you are. That made
What
it
is
sound
the
like I'm
what
against-
rule? Yeah, you need to
rule is-
explain.
The rule
No,
is
let
that
him
if
keep
you're
talking.
over 110 pounds, you couldn't carry the ball because then I could just walk all over these children that were 60 pounds.
Playing
And so
sports
there are
around
rules.
puberty is like a weird, people huge size disparities.
I was
for-
just thinking in the answer to is there fairness in sports? It's like, yeah, you have to change rules sometimes. That's the point.
Yeah.
So they had to do this, and then I just stayed on the offensive line. But then I just sort of stayed the same weight.
Yeah.
And so I was
Yeah.
bad at being on the offensive line. And then there were a bunch of people that showed up that were like 350 pounds. I'd just get knocked off the ball.
That
and
happened
I
to
was
me
dead.
in two ways in sports. One, I was a very good swimmer when I was like young, like 8 to 10. And then everybody else got taller and leaned out, and I was the same height and size and was just like chubby. And so then I was like terrible at it.
Yeah.
So everybody else got bigger. And then also I was also a big kid, and I played soccer, and I got really good at playing position for defense because I didn't want to fucking run.
Right.
Because I was too big.
Yeah,
Right,
sure.
right.
So I just was like, I'm going to make sure I'm where I need to be at all times, so I don't need to run to where I need to be, because that sucks.
Yeah.
And so I just got good at that one thing.
Yeah. Well, like, what were you good at as a kid? And we all were like, we all kind of suck.
We weren't great. We weren't great at stuff. We were
no.
all right at a lot of things.
Well, yeah, that's how you end up here, generally.
Right.
Yeah, I
right?
think so.
Now, were
So-
you, not to go too much into the school stuff, but I was thinking that, I was very clever for my age. So that kind of keeps you from actually being like a class clown,
Yes.
because only half the kids are interested in anything.
Only they don't. The other ones
Yes,
don't get it.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I remember, I might have said this on the show before, but I remember in middle school, I had made some joke in my class, and one of my classmates said, "That was pretty dry, Zach." And then I said, not understanding what I was saying, I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't wet enough for you."
Nice.
And it crushed.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I figured out what that meant 20 years later. But it was
Still
a real high
waiting
note.
to
Yeah,
find
yeah,
out.
yeah.
You just remember that laugh, and you're like,
Absolutely.
something good happened there. I'll figure it out later.
I played to the teachers, and then I never got in trouble.
Oh, I got
Yeah.
in trouble.
Jimmy Stewart references.
Were you really doing Jimmy Stewart
I did
references
all
as a
kinds
little
of
kid?
old timey. I was obsessed with the Firesign Theater, which was like an old
Yeah, oh,
radio
yeah.
show, the Chicago guys, and I would quote it. And the teachers would be like, "What the fuck? Like,
What's
were you like a little acid head '60s kid?"
Yeah, what the fuck?
And I was like, "It's like 1998." Yeah. And I'm like,
Did your parents like it or something? Yeah,
and
yeah.
my nickname, Deputy Dan, was like this old sketch where they translated a Spanish children's book, and it was like, these are a bunch of children. They're scantily clad, and they look like they're trying to escape something. And there's a police helicopter, and it says, "Deputy Dan will find us no matter how far away we go." And it was just about like the police state, and I was like, "This is the funniest thing that's ever happened. I'm the funniest
Yeah,
now."
yeah,
Anyway, when you were a kid, were you obsessed with anything? Was there any obsession you had?
Yes. So so when I was very young, I was a very, very fearful child, like toddler age to like early grade school. I was really, really anxious about a lot of things. And that then became whatever I was like freaked out by. I would need to like learn all about it. I think it made me feel like I had a sense of control over stuff that I was frightened by, which I think is still a coping mechanism of mine. Because like information makes me feel like I'm in control of things that actually I have no control over. So like a good example is like my mom worked in museums when I was a kid. She was a museum curator, and she would bring me to museums, and I quickly realized and this association was baked into my head even in museums where this was not true. But I was like, museums have mummies in them. That's a thing that museums have. And the idea that there are dead people in here freaks me out, and I don't like it, and I don't want to see a dead person, and I don't even want to be in a building with a dead person. This is really freaky, and I would like get super stressed out and anxious in museums. And then I got really interested in Egyptology. Like that then became like a thing I was like super fascinated by. And I feel like this was like peak 2-hour documentaries on the Discovery Channel about them doing archaeology and stuff. And so I was just like super interested in that as like a young kid. And I think it was a direct consequence of like being freaked out by it. So I feel like there were a lot of things like that.
Where was that? Where did you grow up?
New Hampshire.
In New Hampshire.
So like my mom was not working in museums that had mummies, but we would go to like the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. And they had them and,
or that Chicago one, they had like a little, you slid this thing and you saw like the mummy's face, and I was a kid and I would be really freaked out.
Yeah, it's scary. It's weird that we have dead people in museums.
Yeah.
But I went to the Met recently, and the fun thing that I noticed, I don't know why this is fun, I'm building it up like it's the best thing. All the sarcophagi, is that how you say it? A lot of foot room, just tons of foot room.
Yeah.
That's all I could look at. And I know if you lay down and you stick your feet up, you do need a lot of space. But I'm saying, I'm like, these guys got this like
it's
a size 16 shoe.
Yeah, it's real tall.
I feel like they were just trying to, compliment the king. You know what I mean? They're like
Will
King Tut
Chamberlain.
had just these massive
Huge
feet.
Yeah,
Because
flippers.
if you put like you got a tiny foot sarcophagus, people are talking.
Yeah, that's
People
true.
are talking. They don't like it.
It's not a good look.
So your obsession was inspired by fear.
Yeah.
You're scared of things.
Yeah, I really think a lot of stuff. I'm trying to think of other examples like that. I'm trying to rack my brain, but I feel like there were a lot of things like that.
Did you
like,
purposefully scare yourself? Did you read Goosebumps or
No, because I
none of
was
that?
so freaked out by shit that like I avoided all of that. The scariest I would go was like, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like that was as much as I
scary.
could handle.
Pretty scary.
I think some of those are pretty fucking scary. And then I remember I watched. The people told me in 1999 when I was 11 that The Sixth Sense was not that scary.
Oh my
and
God.
so I watched that and I was like, oh no, you guys don't understand what I find. Like, you guys think Scream is scary, but not this, because it's like a understated psychological horror. And I was like, this is terrifying to me.
Well, it's like you're
so
afraid.
scary.
You're afraid of dead people in a museum, and the
Right.
whole movie is there's dead people
They're
everywhere.
everywhere. And I can't see it. Freaked me
They're
out so bad.
everywhere.
A
No.
slasher, like, who gives a shit? But yeah, like that really freaked me
And
out.
I just had another fond movie memory to share, and that's all we do on this podcast. Was coming out. There was a double screening at the same time of The Sixth Sense, and I remember coming out of one theater, seeing my friend John, who was coming out of the other theater with his family. We were too young to see this movie, and the other people are going into the theater to see The Sixth Sense, and my friend John screaming, "I called it!
No.
He was dead!"
Damn it!
And we were all like, everyone, someone put their hand over his mouth. You son of a bitch.
I got no respect for that.
No respect.
Yeah.
You know what?
How dare
I'm
you.
going to cut it from the pod.
I don't want him getting any
getting
clout.
I don't want him getting. No, I don't want him getting hate mail.
Well,
He's a pediatric oncologist now. He's fine.
probably doing okay.
He's fine.
well, let me ask you this. Now I'm curious. As you say that a lot of these obsessions have come from anxiety, which I think a lot of people would feel that way. You're very interested right now, not to spoil, but weightlifting.
Yes.
Is that did that come from a similar place, do you think?
I don't know. Not consciously. I don't think so, but I do think there's a little bit like every woman, you have a little bit of ambivalence about your body.
Okay.
So like I think maybe that like I think for a while I played sports as a kid, but I think there was a while where I felt sort of disconnected from my physical form, and I'm such a like I really process things intellectually before I process them like emotionally or physically. So I felt like I was just kind of a brain in this extraneous thing. And so I think getting back into weightlifting maybe was a way to address that anxiety a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm just sort of, I've never like made that connection before. So maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great. We're done. What are you lifting? I know weights, but what's your...
So I right now I hurt my back about 1.5 years ago. So I'm still, been a very long process with like a few setbacks of building my barbell back squat back up. So like that's my main focus right now, is like getting that really strong so I can do that safely. But I basically do like, the nice thing is, unless this is like advice of anybody, if you're interested in starting, you're looking
Sure.
for a hobby,
Yeah.
like, you don't need to like optimize to get good results from it unless you're trying to like build a really specific physique or something. Like, most of the basic shit is gonna help you and make you feel good. So like, I do squats, I do deadlifts, I do hip thrusts, I do bench, I do rows, I do bicep curls, like all the basic stuff, nothing fancy. And then I do like accessory movements for all of those, which are like more specialized things. So like right now for my squat, I'm doing a lot of split squats where you put your back foot on like a bench and then you squat with one leg and like stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, nothing crazy. I'm not like a power lifter. I'm not competing or anything like that. Maybe when I get in better shape, that might be fun.
Would you do that? Would you compete?
I don't know if I would be like interested in the competitive part necessarily, but like I would maybe think about joining like a powerlifting gym and like taking some classes and stuff. I think that could be fun. That stuff to me is not like power cleans and shit like that we were talking about earlier. I feel like you need someone to teach you how to do that because you can really fuck yourself up. I just mentioned it.
This was before we were recording for everyone who's listening and listening very carefully. But we had to do that for football. Was you had the power clean because you need like a burst, and it also it makes your muscles bigger. Yeah, it makes them, and that's not what I'm after.
No, I know, of course, but for those listening who maybe don't know, what would you say? What is a power clean?
It's when the bar. You know how you get those 45s on there.
Sure.
Like we were talking. That's when you know you've made it. And you're gonna put a 45 on there. They're big rubbery 45s on the sides, and you put it against your shins, and you squat, and then you pull it up as fast as possible, and you push it, and you put your whole body under your chest, and then a little bonus is you can push it up.
I thought that was the clean and jerk.
That's you could clean and jerk.
What?
I know, that's
what's the clean and jerk?
Is
that something that my coach
an
taught
extra
me?
50 is what it is, sir.
I was on the wrestling team for about a year and a half, and that was kind of the most. I do machines, which I feel like you might look down upon, which is fine.
I do some machines. That's like part of the accessory movements. I actually went to the gym earlier today, and I was doing the leg curl thing where you lie down on your stomach and you bend your legs back up. I was doing that one. I do the lots of cables. The cables are good, right? Yeah.
The cables are good.
Yeah.
I should do more
machines
cable.
are good. Nothing wrong with machines. But
Let's
anyway.
embrace machines.
Let's embrace the machine. Right now more than ever.
Now more than ever, pro machine
pro
stance is
machine.
what's important.
I just remember when I was doing bench, the day that I could do 45. So you feel like you're actually
when you do the
lifting
plate.
weights. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
But I was a chunky boy, and I love squats because I always had pretty strong legs. So squats was always my jam. I could do it then. I used to, in my head, I never said this to anyone, but I remember thinking in my head that I could leg press any comedian in the New York comedy scene.
Oh yeah.
If you were, because I for most of my life I was about 50 pounds heavier than I am right now, and if you've been fat for a significant period of time, you can leg press. An insane amount of weight. The things you get from if you're starting weightlifting from a place of being pretty fat, you got great calves because it's all like calf muscles it's repetitive motion. It's really hard to train them in the gym from like normal lifting stuff because like the amount of reps you have to do if you're heavy every step is a rep. So like fat people got great calves and you can leg press a gajillion pounds and 100%. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Especially you're fat in New York. Come on.
Oh yeah. You're walking. You got some good calves. Absolutely. Yeah. That's like the thing that all the like real bodybuilder guys are always, that's like they have like calf dysmorphia. They're like
absolutely.
So
there was something on like MTV. I remember a guy
the calf
getting
implants
the calf implant guy.
Yes.
And I was like, who would ever be like that?
Yeah.
And then as an adult man, this is the first year I've ever worn shorts. Like in
Really?
Congrats, man.
I'm very honestly like it's the first time I bought shorts, and it's
That's
because I didn't
great.
want anyone not just looking at my calves. I just
You got
there's
nice
something
legs,
about
man.
It, finally, that's this is
Show 'em
the
off.
compliment I was looking for. We're all in shorts for everyone listening, but I just
Absolutely.
I don't know what it was. It felt unprofessional on stage, and it felt like but I'm going to do stand up tonight in shorts, and everyone can just adore these calves that I'm not self-conscious about.
No, you
because I
shouldn't
remember
be.
seeing that guy and being like, what are you doing, man? Just relax.
That's such a like there are some things in stand-up that are like holdovers from old show business that I love.
Yeah.
But that is one that I think is just totally out of date.
Don't sit down. Don't sit down.
I kind of agree with don't sit down.
Yeah, you don't have to sit down.
I don't think.
What about humping the stool? Come on now.
Well, that's comedy.
I mean, that's
comedy.
classic. That's classic.
yeah,
But
the
the shorts
holdovers-
thing, I don't think it makes a difference.
Shorts doesn't make any
We
sense.
live in a very casual society now.
And respecting the light, who cares?
Fuck that.
Come
Who
on,
gives
do
a
another
shit?
30.
Well, it's one of those things too. Like when a comic at a show goes on stage, is like, I know everybody. I know
Right.
I'm wearing shorts.
No one.
Yeah,
the
no-
audience is so confused.
I'm so happy you were out of town 2 weeks ago because
Did you do that?
I so fully did that. I was like, I just want everyone to know. I didn't do this on purpose. It's 98 degrees.
It's so like fucking, I don't know, Frank Sinatra times to be like, it's
right.
a sign of disrespect. Like, no one gives a shit. You're at a bar. It's a free show. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
You're
know.
already disrespecting so many people by
Right.
doing
By
stand-up
performing
instead of
stand-up
social work.
comedy.
Yeah.
Right.
You should be doing something else with
It's
your
already-
money and time.
It's an affront to God already. man.
Yeah,
What do we care?
exactly. Just lean into it.
Now let me ask you this. This is a question I was thinking about. So I have my buddy Dan Mintz, different
the
Dan
pod.
Mintz, but he got very into weightlifting. He also suffered a brutal bicep injury.
Did he snap it?
I think he
Aye.
potentially
Yeah, he
did.
tore
Aye.
it. Yeah. Gotta be
and,
careful.
He is I like Dan a lot, but he's maybe a bit of an awkward man
Sure.
and has found a bit of community within the weightlifting community. Now you're much more capable. You're not an awkward person. You can hold a conversation.
Thank you.
But are you honestly, one of the things that would keep me from doing it would be a guy being like, let me tell you how to lift that better, or your form's off, or any of that shit.
Yeah, I find that gym people tend to, it's not a rule, and the ones that are assholes are really big assholes. Like, they're definitely, I would say this, and then I can tell my story about an asshole at the gym I encountered.
Nice.
But most people are very nice. Most people will leave you alone unless you're doing something that is imminently at risk of hurting you. So like the only time I've really seen somebody give like totally unsolicited advice is like a guy was deadlifting in a way where it was like 80% of the load was on his back.
Oh,
and
right.
somebody was just like, hey, like do this a little differently.
Right.
I have had like once or twice someone has come up and been like, is it okay if I give you a note? And like in a very like, I get it. It's okay if you say no. And then like and I've always said yes, and they've always been very chill and nice about it. And like, yeah, I think for the most part, people are very cool. In gyms where it's a lot more solitary, sometimes people are weird about, there's like a lot of gym etiquette that is like different depending on your gym. My biggest gripe is that if you're waiting for a machine, I feel like gyms should have like a waiting area.
Oh, yeah.
Like a designated thing so you don't have
Yes.
to sit and watch like a hawk and wait for someone to walk away.
And you should be allowed to smoke in there.
And you should be allowed to smoke, and there should be a smoking section.
Sure. Yeah.
It should be free drinks like a casino. People are coming around. Yeah. Totally. But yeah, I was at the gym a while ago, and I was waiting for a bench to open up, and like, it's so funny. Like, the way dudes lift weights is so different than the way I lift weights. It's so funny. So like, the stereotype is that women go really hard on legs. Like women do leg days like multiple times a week because we all want big asses and like nice legs and stuff. And then also back is big for women. Men, it's all chest and arms. Like that, like a lot of dudes in the gym do legs like maybe once a week. They have these little chicken legs and they have these huge upper bodies.
Right. Gorilla mindset.
Gorilla mindset, exactly.
Yeah.
They like can't put their arms all the way down, like that shit. And so like there were these 3 men on the bench, and they were clearly going to be benching for like 45 minutes. Like they were clearly doing a gajillion. I just want to get in there and do my 3 little sets with 80. Like I'm done in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? But I was waiting, and I was like done with everything else. So I was like, whatever, I will just wait until a bench frees up. It's a free country. They can bench for 45 minutes if they want. Little rude to do when the gym is at its busiest point of the day, but like whatever. And this guy, he's the guy on the nearest bench to me he's benching. He like keeps mean mugging me. And then at one point he walks across the gym, grabs a preloaded barbell, walks back to his bench, stands maybe 3 feet in front of me facing me, and starts doing bicep curls. And I was just like, I don't know what to tell you, man. I have to bench press.
Yes,
like, it was so crazy. Yeah. So every once in a while you encounter a guy like
Sure.
that. But for the most part, people are nice. Also, like, if you seek advice, so many people at the gym are on the spectrum in some way, and weightlifting has clearly become like their special interest.
Right.
So like they're very, very knowledgeable and very excited to help you. So
Sure, I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
absolutely. I would fear being a woman asking for weightlifting advice in a gym. Just seeing like 8 guys come up and be like, here's my notebook. Please sign it. Have a great summer.
I've only had a problem once or twice.
Yeah.
And it was somebody who clearly was like on the spectrum and like had like was a person who does that. So
Right.
like, you know, I don't love it, but it doesn't happen all that much. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like in that case, I can't be too mad at that guy because it's like, you got bigger problems.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
like,
There's demons being exercised
Right.
in some way. No, absolutely.
Now
Totally.
I run. We've spoken about
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
before. I run because, and maybe this goes back to how did you get into weightlifting? Because I'd like to know. I got into running because it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Even though everything I read about it is like, you're going to hurt
bad
your
for you.
knees. It ages you faster. Your intestines are going to fall through your ass. It's over for you. And I just keep doing it. But my favorite, and this is just a great Brooklyn moment, was the gym. First of all, our gym had closed temporarily, and everyone in my building got a little fatter, and it
Yeah,
was
that's
beautiful.
awesome.
And we were all in the elevator, and we're like, we just can't. Like, the Y is too far away, and this one.
yeah.
So this guy
That's
opened
awesome.
the world's shittiest gym right down the street from our apartment. And we all started going, and the guy didn't like update his stuff. And I just remember I came in one day and I went, "Hey man, all the treadmills are broken." And he said, "Yeah, people keep running on them." And I was like, who but Nostradamus? I was like, did you not prepare for this outcome?
Unforeseen expenses
Beautiful.
at the gym.
Just a beautiful thing. And I couldn't run there anymore. So
That's
did
awesome.
you get into it to feel good? Did you get into it?
Yeah, I think so. I started going to the gym because I lived across the street from one when I first moved to New York. I lived across the street from a Planet Fitness. It's so cheap to join. And like I said, I played sports as a kid. My dad in particular is like very, very active, and always when I was younger would like preach how much exercise did for him, like mentally. And it's just like, it's a real like regulation tool for him. And when I was a kid, I was like, fuck this. Like, this sucks. I'm tired. I don't want to do this. But as I got older, I was like, there's something to this.
Sure.
And also I was not working a 9 to 5 at the time. So I was like, I have some time to do this. Also, like, New York is just, I was moving from Texas. New York does take a physical toll on you if you're not conditioned for it, because you walk so much. And like, I was much bigger at the time. Like I said, I've been overweight pretty much my whole life. I was not in terrible physical shape, but like, as far as like, you know, I could run, I could walk upstairs and not be out of breath or whatever. But like, if you're big and you're walking way more than you were, like you feel it. So partially I started because of that. Partially I started because my whole life sleep has been a real problem for me. I'm a terrible sleeper, and I was like, I need to do stuff that makes me tired. So anyway, I sort of trailed off about the 9 to 5. It was that I could go to the gym at times when it wasn't crowded.
Right.
Which is the best. It's
Yeah.
the
The
best
best
way to
time.
do it.
Ideal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
Whenever
So
there's
Also
somebody
like a-
next to you on a treadmill, I get so mad. And I know they're just existing, but when somebody takes the treadmill next to me, I want to punch them right in the genitals, no matter what.
When I had a 9 to 5, I really liked the fact that there was a time limit. So I would get up on time.
Yeah.
I was really disciplined, but sometimes I like wouldn't get there until 8, and I only had until 8:30 if I wanted to get to work on time. And I'm like, well, I still showed up. And I
Yeah.
would just like feel good about myself, but
You should.
I'd only run, 20 minutes and then
yeah, getting
Do a
there is
push-up.
like really half the battle. Like, that's very common gym advice, is like, even if you don't want to work out, just go. And then if you still don't want to work out after you're in your gym clothes and at the gym, just go home.
Right.
And I've done that. I've made that bargain with myself a million times. I've only ever actually left once.
Yeah.
And it's like your body's telling you something. If you're
Right,
still there and you
absolutely.
don't want to go, it's like you probably should take a rest.
Yeah, I read that it was a sign of depression if you only did half of your workout, and I was like, well,
That's
uh-oh.
bullshit. That's so, yeah,
That's
no.
such a it's
That's a
bullshit.
crock of shit.
Wow, the bit was, what if I never go? What if I never went to the gym? That's it.
Yeah.
Like, you are done, is what they said. Anyway, I keep getting ads for ketamine on my
Oh, yeah?
Instagram. Just a fun little thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it used to be a really fit guy being like, you got to chase something. Don't hide from the food. Chase it and do sit-ups and bench all the time. And then they were like, you know what? Ketamine.
He's
Put
not
on the-
clicking these.
It's not
He's not
happening.
clicking these.
It's not happening for you.
But yeah, so weightlifting helped tire me out, and
Yes.
it has made my sleep a little bit better.
You dreaming? You got some dreams in
I
there?
don't have, every once in a while I have one. I had one the other night. I had a very vivid dream that I was bitten on the leg by a lobster and it wouldn't let go. And I had to walk around with a lobster hanging off my leg. What do you think that means?
I don't know.
It does seem like that could be a fun hook.
I think that's
Yeah.
actually.
I
I,
will
think
say.
that's. You know what it is? New Hampshire.
It
right?
means I'm from New
It
England.
means you're from New England,
you
and
back.
you're afraid that if you go back there, it's going to do something bad to you. That's my thought. Because
Interesting.
Yeah, my recurring dream is I'm packing a trunk of my car, and I'm weeping, and someone's saying like, wherever I'm going, it's like some other gig, and they're like, you can still do comedy up there in Alaska
You're
or
getting
wherever
sent
when
to
you're
a
in
farm
witness
upstate.
protection. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm getting sad. I'm like, I know it's over for me.
Yeah,
and that
damn.
that's an anxiety dream,
That
sort
is.
of, in a way.
Spooky.
That's why I came here, so everyone could say their dreams. Zach, what are your dreams?
I haven't dreamed in years, but
That's right.
My girlfriend will have dreams where our cat gets sold into the sex trade, and she'll tell me it as if I'm supposed to not laugh directly in her face. Oh my
so
god, it's a
good.
terrible dream. These people are
being
somebody impregnated.
Cat human trafficked.
So let's speak about some peeves and maybe some gym etiquette
Oh,
that I
sure.
can avoid.
Yeah.
How you feel about filming at the gym?
Negatively, I don't like it. I it's interesting because like anytime I see someone doing it, I kind of roll my eyes. But there are good reasons to do it. Like it's a good way to check your form.
Yeah.
You know. So like, and also it's like people got to make a living because like I hate when people film at the gym and then I get on TikTok and I'm like, am I doing this like cable row right? And like need a video of someone explaining how to do
Right.
something. So I probably shouldn't be as judgmental about it as I am, but it is certainly etiquette if you are filming at the gym to try as hard as you can not to have other people in your shot.
Right.
And also you're not allowed to get mad if someone walks into your shot
Yes.
because you were in a public gym.
But you can snap a selfie.
Oh yeah.
I'm just
I think
thinking
that's fine.
of everyone's there to make themselves
yeah.
feel good.
That one thing that is very funny at the gym, I am still too self-conscious to do it, but I respect people who are posing in the mirror while they work
Oh,
out.
yeah.
I think that's
Sure.
I think that's so sweet. Like it's
Right.
very vulnerable of
Yeah.
them to do that. And it's always like big macho dudes. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm glad you're just owning it. I'm
Absolutely,
glad you're just
dude.
like being tough in the mirror. Like that's cute.
No, you're right.
I was
Yeah.
just thinking as you were saying this that all I'm doing at the gym is judging other people, and I'm trying not to do it. Then I just see someone, and I'm like, I wonder if that fucking person has ever been here. Like that's my first thought.
Yeah.
If I
Is
see
this their
somebody,
first day on
like
Earth?
they're doing the leg press in jeans, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I'm not gonna judge. Maybe they just got from where, and they don't have their shorts. They forgot their bag, but I've never seen them here before. But I come at different times. I'll think about that.
It's funny, like now. So for years and years, I went to Planet Fitness, and then about 6 months ago, I switched to like a nice gym.
Yep.
And so now, I'm the person in the worst shape with the worst form. Which like Planet Fitness, I was like top middle. You know what I mean? And now, like I'm just like I can't judge any of these people because they are all in way better shape than me.
Yeah.
So I feel like now I'm maybe a little more insecure, but also like I said, like most gym people are perfectly nice and are not like I don't know. There is probably a part of their brain that's like, wow, she's only squatting like, because I'm rehabbing my squat right now, so I'm squatting like 65 pounds, and I feel like a fucking loser.
Hell yeah.
So, maybe people are judging me for that, but then I can be like, I'm 37 years old and I hurt my damn back. So what do you want?
Yeah.
That's how I feel in New York whenever I don't jaywalk. Like if I have time to kill,
Yeah.
I do want to be like, I know I can go.
I can go, but
Yeah.
I'm enjoying my life.
I'm
That's
not some
me at all.
tourist.
Yeah, I feel
cross-
that too.
yes.
I feel that too.
Now,
I'll
how-
cross with the light even if it's not the side of the street I need to be on. I just see the
Just to-
walk.
just
and
so
I'm
you
like,
know.
I'm
I do that
going.
too,
And
just
then I'll
to keep
come back
moving.
around
Yep.
just to keep moving.
I-
I don't want to be standing around.
I absolutely. So when I moved to New York, I moved in with a friend of mine who'd already been living here for like 10 years. And she was like, that's how you walk here.
Yeah.
It's like you just keep going.
Just keep
So if
going.
you see a cross, you cross. Because why wait?
Now, what about machine cleaning? So I use a treadmill, and I'll use the occasional machine. So I do a little spritz on a napkin, and I wipe. But I wonder if it should be more thorough. Sometimes when I do it, I wonder if I'm not wiping sufficiently enough. How lathered do you feel the towel should be?
Do you feel self-conscious when you're doing the handles and it looks like you're jerking it off?
Yes.
I
that's
always
mostly-
feel weird
that's
about
mostly
that.
what it is.
I
yeah.
always feel weird about that.
Well, because then I have to wipe again, if you know what I mean.
Exactly.
But I don't know, maybe this is my own thing, but I do feel like, because I kind of just do quick wipes, and I wonder if people are thinking I'm not clean and thorough.
I think that's fine.
Is that
I
fine?
feel
All
like I think the bigger thing, if you give it a cursory wipe, it's also like if people are really germophobic, they're gonna wipe it down again anyway.
Sure.
Yeah.
I feel like as long as you like go over the stuff you touched,
Do you
you're okay.
pre-wipe?
I do not.
Okay,
I
I
don't.
don't either,
I don't give
no.
a shit.
One time a guy was taking too long. So what? Like I could see visible.
He was
sweat
too
on it.
meticulous?
No, he like walked. He was like, hold on, I'll wipe it
Oh.
down. And he left, and he just sort of, I could like see him, getting the towels, and he started talking to somebody, and I was like, I'm just gonna sit in this guy's sweat. And
Yeah,
he like, came
I'm just
back
gonna do it.
And he like gave me like a look, like I was a
Took too
dirty
long,
little
man.
freak, and I was like, you're taking too long.
But you
Yeah.
didn't wipe. You chose.
No, I
In
didn't
that case,
wipe.
I would have gone to
I
get
probably
the
should have
stuff.
wiped. I
and-
think I like just armed it and was like, I don't care. Like I wiped it with my shirt.
It was your
Because
protest.
that's dudes rock. I don't care about germs. I
The
just want the
thing-
wetness away from me.
the wiping it is one thing. The thing that is insane to me is when people don't re-rack their weights
Yes.
and walk away.
Yes.
Rude.
Which I have compared to using a public bathroom stall and then crawling out the bottom so it's still locked. That's what that is to me.
That's that's like
insane.
leaving your popcorn and
Yes.
Pepsi at the
Sure.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's no good.
Especially because it's
Someone
like
will clean
people
it
are
up.
waiting to use that and they don't know if you're done or not. And
Yeah.
you just walked away. And then, yeah, it's also like maybe people can't, maybe they're not strong enough to put your shit away. Like, you never know.
I got to
So.
share my favorite one now that it just occurred to me. When I was playing high school football, again, huge brag, 170 pounds
Hell
on the
yeah.
JV team,
Yep.
just outweighed by a full 100 pounds by everybody I was up against. Got knocked over by a Saint came, I can't remember. We've talked about this before, that one of the New Orleans Saints came and he was like, let me show you how to swim past like an
Will
offensive lineman,
Smith?
and he did it really fast.
Will
And
Smith?
then it might have been Will Smith. He was just a massive dude. And then he was like, or you could just pick him up.
And he
just
pancaked
threw
you?
me. And he
Wow.
just threw me. He was like this little scrawny kid. I
What
think he
did
was
it
trying to get me to quit.
What did
but that
it
wasn't-
feel like to be thrown?
Oh, it like a baby again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
was a
I
big
like
kid.
want that experience.
It hadn't happened to me since I was like 5 in a swimming pool. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It felt like I asked him if he was my real dad. That's what I did. A guy was doing free weights. I remember it was like 9 p.m. All of us were there way too late.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just 3 guys. One guy over there doing like a bear hug, like to work his pecs.
Oh, yeah,
It was a
yeah, the
specific,
this.
yeah, like the
Yeah.
no. It was free weights.
Okay, it was free weights going in.
And
Okay.
when he was doing way too much and he dropped it and his fucking ring finger got caught under the thing and it was coming off and he screamed and he screamed for Marty, our trainer, who was out of the room at the time. And this kid, without like the biggest kid on our football team who scared the shit out of me, looked at it because I was like about to throw up when I
Yeah.
saw it, and he goes, bite that shit off and finish that lift.
Damn.
and then the kid like ran screaming.
Oh
and, like I don't
my
think he ever forgave
God.
him, but I loved it.
That is a good, yeah, that's
Anyway.
intense.
And
hell of a
well,
line.
you know
I mean, that's a thing about weightlifting is like you can really hurt yourself. And if you do it for long enough, like you will probably sustain some kind of injury.
Yeah.
So like running, it's like there are pros and cons. You can't really go forever without fucking something up, and hopefully it's something small.
Well, I'll
but-
just tell you, because I did get into it to feel good.
Yeah.
And last October, so almost 2 years ago, 2 women moms in my neighborhood were in their convertible for maybe the last day of the season, and they catcalled me, and
Hell yeah.
it kept me running for
Hell yeah, that's
I
awesome.
kept running by that house, just like
Hoping, yeah.
Are they gonna
Anybody
do
home?
it again? So I'll never stop running now.
That's
Just like
beautiful.
Someone compliments your jacket, you're like, I'm gonna wear this.
Sure.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
98 degrees, I'm gonna wear this jacket.
There is something like obviously catcalling, fraught, not saying anyone should do it. But if you are somebody who is not constantly getting catcalled, it does feel good.
That's why men
it
will
is
never
nice.
understand
Yeah.
the plight of women
Yeah.
who get it every 5 fucking seconds and they can't do anything and they're just trying to go to work.
Well, I
And
feel like
men
I
are, you know.
hit like a perfect equilibrium where like my whole life I've been catcalled the exact amount I wanted to be. Because when I was younger, I was much heavier and that protected me from getting catcalled. And now I'm more sort of more toward a conventional beauty standard, but now I'm old. So it's like I still get them, but it's
got
like
out,
every once in a while. So like I really like the graph. Like
now you're
I've
getting
hit
nicer.
the perfect line.
You're getting nicer catcalls. You're like, hello, miss.
Yeah, more respectful. Yeah. There, I haven't gotten any gross ones in a while, but yeah, no, I'm not saying to do it. I'm not saying it's good, but like right place, right time, it can really sustain.
I was
you.
about to stop running. I was like, I'm almost done running. That was 2 miles. I'm not doing any more today.
and you
And
still run.
I got like 4 or 5 miles that day. I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm the best.
and you're still running, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 2 years
Oh,
later,
I
it's
know.
keeping you going.
It's great.
Chasing that next cat call.
I'm.
That I mean, I have a
honestly.
joke about how women are allowed to be creeps because
It's
we don't.
absolutely true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a wonderful gift.
Well,
Now, Kath, speaking of women being creeps, it's not related to that at all. If somebody was, let's say somebody at home, let's say my mom is at home listening and she's interested. It's like, oh, maybe at 66-ish years old, I'm
Yeah.
going to start getting into weightlifting. How would you advise, what would be some advice you would give to somebody if they were thinking about making this their thing?
Well, first of all, if I'm going to do like my little evangelizing for weightlifting,
Please.
particularly for older women, it's very protective against osteoporosis. It keeps your
Nice.
bones dense. So it's like really good for that. I think unless you take it to a real extreme, I think it is a lot less likely to develop into like an eating disorder or body dysmorphia or something than cardio, because like cardio can, for some people who are prone to it, become all about the calories you're burning.
yeah.
Weightlifting, you don't really burn that many calories, so it's not, and it's also very self-limiting in a way that cardio isn't. Like you can spend hours and hours running, you cannot spend hours and hours lifting weights. Like
that's true.
your body will prevent you from doing that in a way that like if you're walking like 60,000 steps or whatever, like it takes up your whole life.
Yeah.
Even if you're like a super skilled weightlifter, like there is a limit to the amount of time you can put into it. So like it's called exercise bulimia. I think weightlifting is like a little bit protective against that in a good way. So I would be like, good job. Do this. I think especially for women, it can give you a much more positive relationship to your body because it's all about, again, unless you take it in the more bodybuilding direction, which like can be good, but is also risky in this, it becomes a lot more about what your body can do and not about what it looks like. But I would say like, again, start really slow, be really patient about your progress. Like I would say if somebody wanted to start like getting a personal trainer for just like a 1 or 2 sessions to like make sure you're doing everything right is
Right.
probably a good idea. But you don't need to be like optimizing it. Like just go pick up some heavy stuff and see how you feel. I'd also say that like the first couple times you do it, you are going to be really sore, but you will stop being really sore.
Right.
Like it does go away. It's like you will get conditioned probably faster than you think you will, but yeah, just like be patient and like it is like the nice thing about it is like it is objective. It's like I can lift more weight than I could last week. Like
Right.
you can really see it's like number go up. I love number go up. It's the
go up.
best. So
It gets
yeah.
better, you would
It
say.
gets better.
Yes, yeah.
Exactly.
A message
Exactly.
to everybody out there.
Yeah. I'm
and-
sorry that wasn't very funny, but that's my
No,
like
that's,
conviction about
No, we
That's
want
great. And if
to.
you
We're
are
trying
trying
to change
to,
lives.
but if you are trying to feel good about your body, run past my house.
Yeah.
I will yell out the window, and it will be disgusting.
Dan will say something gross to you and it'll keep you running for 2 years. It'll be great.
I do have to say, because I'm going to plug your podcast, my favorite podcast.
Aw.
What a Time to Be Alive. When I was on it, just to rehash it, you were then obsessed with the worst weightlifter. I don't even know if he's a weightlifting guy or influencer, but he was a big, bulky dude who had split his day up into 3 separate days. 6 hours
Oh,
at a
the
time.
bodybuilding
And
forum
he's,
guy.
He's literally like just explaining what a schedule
Yes.
is, but he's
Yes.
like, I live 3 days for every one day. You
Yep.
have 6 hours here, 6 hours here, 6 hours here, and then I sleep for 6 hours. And it's the dumbest thing you'll ever see. Please look up. I have 3 days
Yeah.
for every one day, and I'm going to kick your butt.
3 days for
It
every one
will
day.
hurt your brain, and then, but maybe you'll get into lifting. Because I think about him sometimes when I'm
Yeah.
benching in my basement. I'll be like, I really am. This is my first day.
Yeah.
My second day is coming as soon as this is over, and I eat lunch. I got another 6 hours
Yep.
of day.
New day.
It's really terrifying, and I hope that you avoid that
There's
with
like
your obsession
this
with weightlifting.
weird thing with bodybuilder guys. Like a lot of them, I think again, it's sort of like the spectrum thing where like they know so much about this and they know so little about everything else.
Yes, that's-
And this is like, it just reminds me like there's a famous thread on the bodybuilding.com forums from years ago where it was a guy trying to figure out his split, like how many of each day to do, like push, pull, legs, whatever, per week. And it became a huge argument about how many days are in a week. And
Yep.
it went for like hundreds of pages.
Yeah. 'Cause
Like,
there should be 8 days
yeah, there
for
should
your
be-
lifting.
for your splits.
for your split.
There should be 8 days. But yeah, so the 3 days for every one day guy, I feel like is a permutation of like, these men are not, their reasoning is not top notch, but like
They're
they
in a
got
different
some
world.
6 striations in their biceps. They're very
Yes.
vascular. So like good for them.
God did not care about your splits when he was making the
He
day.
did not.
He wasn't thinking about
to
the
rest.
pulling that
Yeah.
you'd have to do.
Didn't take that into account, sadly.
So if we're not listening to What a Time, what else should we be listening to? Where can we find you?
Yeah, I have another podcast called Lie, Cheat, and Steal, which is a true crime podcast about liars, frauds, thieves, and bullshitters. We cover scams and heists and things of that nature. I am on social media at Kath Barbadoro. I do stand-up comedy, mostly in New York City, sometimes other places. So find me all over the place.
Hell
Excellent.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Kath. Thank you, Kath Barbadoro. Insightful and fun.
That's right.
That's what I would call that conversation.
Every time we do this show, people say insightful and fun, and we go, it's also a comedy podcast, and they go, oh, I didn't know that.
You don't say. Did you?
That's what they say to me.
They say, did you know that? By the words you were saying. But Dan, when you're really bringing the comedy heat, where would we find that online?
Well, first and foremost, you can catch us every single week at Young Ethel's, 7:30 p.m. Hard start time, 7:30 p.m. in Park Slope. If you're in Brooklyn, please come out. It's a free show. You're free to leave whenever you want. That's our motto. You're free to leave whenever you want. But once you're in there, you'll feel the guilt.
Sure.
And you'll have to stay.
Absolutely.
But you'll also like it and laugh. And we always have comedians that you've heard on the show. It's a great show. And then
we do always start every show by going, you can get out of here whenever the fuck you want. and
real aggressive.
Some people think that that's a bit much, but we just like to set the tone early. You want to leave? Leave.
So that's where we are every
Yeah.
single week.
Uh-huh.
But if you're not in Brooklyn and you're not close to us emotionally,
Sure.
you can follow me at Dan Wilbur Comedy on Instagram and TikTok. You can follow me at Dan Wilbur, and you can rate and subscribe to the show. That would be fantastic. We'd love to hear your feedback. Zach, where can we find you?
I am on the TikTok at Zach Sims Comedy, also Blue Sky Zach Sims Comedy and the Instagram at also Zach Sims. Rate, review, subscribe, and until next time, see ya, hobby holers!